Henry trying to become the 5th rider in motocross history to win both a 125 title and a 250 title. He's looking for his first 250 crown coming up this year. Getting set for the start of Moto number 1. Let's check out Emig. He started well in the last few races, and Henry has been doing a phenomenal job with good starts, holding his points lead. Number 19, Team Yamaha's Doug Henry gets his 9th pole shot of the year. Yes, Henry, then Emig. Getting a little squirrely back there, but third, it's good to see Ryan Hughes.
Both Henry and Hughes coming down that fast straightaway, getting a big swap there. The back end dancing out to the side. Your heart's already pumping hard, and you have that happen in the beginning. And right into the big whoop section. So this track here in Millville will keep you busy.
19 Henry, Emig number 1, Hughes number 10. Lusk has dropped back out of 4th. That's Pachon moving into 4th in front of Lusk. And Larocco with not a bad start.
Emig into that long straightaway, out horsepowers the big 4-stroke, holds the inside, takes over the lead, so he goes right for the front, doesn't even want to wait.
Emig is hoping against hope, of course, that something happens to Doug Henry's machinery. He's that far behind in the points, but he's riding so well, the possibility of catching up under those circumstances would be good. Henry trying to make a move back on Emig here in the early going.
Now, this isn't to say that Emig wouldn't be winning these races anyway, but it's kind of a nice place to be. You ride a little bit more aggressive when you've got nothing to lose. And he's been in that position ever since the year started out terribly for him. And he just seems so much more aggressive than he did in the beginning of the season. Everything is turned around, and now he is the guy everyone's aiming for.
Big cheers for these two riders. Emig, I'm not sure whether they're cheering Emig's comeback or Henry's popularity. He's been a very popular rider all along. Maybe they're even cheering Hughes in 3rd place.
A little bit of all of it. These fans here in Millville, always one of the biggest trophy presentations. They all stick around at the end. I always like that, especially if I could just be up on the podium. But they are diehard fans. They all know the scene, what's going on, and which riders have had different types of seasons, and they're rooting for everybody.
Emig out in front. He turned his season skid around at Redbud as we take a look at the leaderboard. Pachon in 4th and Ezra Lusk in 5th. There's Larocco in 6th. Caton, Palmer, Albertine, and Birdwell. Some new names in that top 10.
And what a beautiful day to ride. The track is just perfect. Conditions, there's no mud, there's no dust. Great traction everywhere. Plenty of places to pass, it looks like. But everyone still seems to feel that the best place to pass is the big whoop section.
And Emig is going through the whoops mighty fast. In practice, some people were questioning that he might be going through those sand whoops quick enough, but he's proven a lot different rider here with the main event. We mentioned it turned his season skid around at Redbud. He's just had a phenomenal record since then. Not only overall wins in winning 3 straight, but also picking off the motos.
Confidence is the name of the game, and he lacked that in the Supercross series. And it's funny too, because in one of his biggest problems in the Supercross was the whoop section. Here they come into one, and he's been fast there. That's where he made up all his momentum and made the pass on Henry the first lap.
Here comes Hughes to the inside, inching up on Doug Henry. Boy, that's a phenomenal jump. Our cameraman gets the badge of courage right there.
You can really get an idea of how fast they're going coming by there too, getting into 3rd, just in the 4th gear.
So Hughes hanging on to 3rd, puts the pressure on Henry for 2nd place. We'll be back with 250 action in a moment. Welcome back to Millville. First moto of the 250 action. And David, I don't know if it's just me, but after seeing the speed of Carmichael and Raynard and now checking out the 250s, there's no comparison in this sandy soil.
You got to have a lot of power to get through the sand. These guys have twice as much. Doug maybe even a little more than that. This guy's got a bigger tire. So put a bigger tire than 125, but the engine just won't pull it.
Oh, it's good to see Ryan Hughes in that 3rd spot. And let's go down to Davey now.
Ron, it's a great start for Reiner. This is about as high as you guys have been this year.
Yeah, he's riding really good. He got a good start. We talked about our starts earlier today, and he did a good job. It's just he's a little sore from getting ran over in his heat race, but we're doing the best we can. I think he'll do all right.
You think his conditioning is finally up to 100%?
Yeah, I think his conditioning is really good, especially if he gets up there with those leaders. He can do fine if he just stays with them.
Right now, he's putting the pressure on Doug Henry. You know, after missing the first 6 races with a very bad knee injury, he has to qualify each round to get into the main event nowadays.
Ryan puts in plenty of laps before the program even gets started. He's in shape to do it. You know, he's nursing back from an injury, but Ryan trains pretty hard. You know, it probably didn't take him very long. It's just a matter of matching the pace, having that concentration at that pace. And when he takes off with these guys, he's got enough desire. He can run with pretty much anybody.
Ryan Hughes, when he came off that injury, a lot of people are saying, hey, is he going to have a ride next year? But his steady improvement from a 9th place overall to an 8th to a 6th shows everyone he's getting stronger, and the old Ryan Hughes is coming back. He was such an exciting rider, especially back in his 125 challenging days.
It's always exciting to watch somebody that rides a little bit on the edge, and I'd put Ryan in that category. There's a few times when he's got it all going good and it's looking real smooth, but most of the time it's just a lot of heart, a little bit on the edge.
Our leaderboard has Emig out in front, Henry Hughes, Pichon, and Lusk the same top 5 as we noticed before. Cliff Palmer and Lance Smale moving into the top 10 along with Jeff Dement. Dement, one of the privateers that has done so well in the privateer awards.
Boy, those guys are flying up that hill. Go all the way out to that berm, square it off, charge right back down. If you got somebody right on your tail, you kind of want to creep around that inside berm, but in this guy's case, it's a little bit faster. Go out there and use that outside wall, make one pivot.
So far, besides Robbie Rayner coming up through the pack in the 125, we've seen very little passing other than in the whoop section.
That's tough to say. I mean, I think that this race has the ability to shape up in the later stages when guys start getting a little bit more tired. Vision starts to become a problem. And it's harder to concentrate. The track starts to get a little bit rougher. Those good lines you thought you had are no good anymore. Everyone found them, so you got to choose something else. The ability to react to those lines. Time to start losing time to somebody that gets them figured out down the stretch.
Emig with about a 4-second lead right now on Henry as the battle is for second place. Rhino tries to cut to the inside. That doesn't hack it as that big 4-stroke to the outside gets good momentum.
Yeah, he's just searching right now, trying to stay out of the roost of that bike. Like I said, the vision is a problem. He gets sprayed with that wet sand. It looks dry, but down underneath, 4-stroke's digging down underneath, believe me, and it brings up that wet sand. It sticks right to your lenses.
Russ pointed that out 2 races in a row when he had to follow Henry and finally got around him in one moto.
I know Ryan's really trying hard here to get around Doug, just to prove that he can. Doug's the guy that's leading the series. Looks like he may win this championship unless he has some sort of disaster, and Ryan wants to prove he can beat him and also make it a 1-2 finish for Cali.
All kinds of interesting rumors flying around during what they call the silly season as we look at back at 4th and 5th. Mikel Pichon, he's involved in some of them. He has a contract with Suzuki that lets Suzuki match an offer that he might get from another factory. Doug Henry, some rumors there that he might want to retire.
That's pretty unbelievable. I guess I could understand. He's been around for a long time, and that would be going out on top, but should have missed seeing him out there.
Ezra Lusk giving chase to Mikel Pichon. Davey is with Ezra's mechanic, Mike Gassler.
Mike, a good start for Yogi, but I got to congratulate you. You're pulling double duty. Your son Christopher just got 11th in the 125 class.
Yeah, I'm not helping out with that whole thing. The guys at the truck are kind of helping him out, and he's doing his own thing.
You even get to watch?
I watched the last couple laps.
What about Yogi? He's got a good start. How's that arm going to hold up?
We don't know. You know, he just started riding on Wednesday of this week, so he's probably a little bit rusty. He's probably going to take it easy, but he'll probably be there in the end. He always makes up for it in the end, the last few laps.
Lusk certainly proving his tough and desire to ride as he broke that arm in Moto 2 at Budds Creek. He not only had original surgery on it, they had to go back before this race for more surgery, put a new plate in, and clean out an infection in there, David.
That's just bad luck. I mean, this guy, if he could just stay healthy for a little while, it'd be amazing how fast he could go, because he's already pretty impressive. And does, like his mechanic says, put on an incredible charge at the end of these motos. He's shown a lot of heart, speed to win. I mean, he's had to nurse those kinds of injuries all year long, so keeping him healthy would really be nice to see what kind of potential he has.
They're hoping that he'll heal up fully for that Motocross the Nations as Lusk Gets in front of Pashone, and so does Mike LaRocco. So the factory connection Honda and the team Honda get by the team Suzuki of Mikel Pashone, who now has his own teammate to battle, number 7 on the right side there, Greg Albertine.
Pashone made a mistake going into that whoop section. He backed off quite a bit. Just these guys just sailed around. You can see from Pashone, doesn't look quite as aggressive as did a moment ago. It's hard to tell what happened if he just kind of missed a beat there.
From Millville, Minnesota, the 250s are really fired out. We'll be back with more in a moment. We're back in Moto number 1 as we take a look back at the pack with Pashone battling out with his teammate Greg Albertine. Albertine, almost elbow to elbow there. He's got the edge, and number 7 takes over. Albertine having an interesting season. He's been up high in the points most of the season, second, third place in the points, but really was unable to mount a charge against Doug Henry when Henry started gaining his top 3 consistency.
Well, he's starting to gain it back a little bit here, but it's getting a little late. Pashone is the one that's got me puzzled, because he goes hard from here to there, and then he stands up and looks like something's wrong, and he's just tired. But it's too early in the race for him to be tired, so something has got to be going wrong with him.
Albertine now in 6th spot as he tries to make his way back up into the top 3. Good 4th place finish in Washougal with the 3.5. No Suzuki has finished as high as 2nd since 1983 when Scott Burnworth did it.
I'm not happy with 2nd at all. You know, I think every rider goes out there to win, and I know my Suzuki's good enough to win, so I think I'm good enough to win as well.
Well, it's nice to be positive, but ever since Hangtown, his best finish has been a 3rd, and there's been a lot of 5s, 6s, and 7s in there. So down the stretch, and I know that down in there, he's capable of winning. The guy, a lot of times, the fastest rider on the track, but he's got to get it all together here. Try to keep Emig off his back. Emig is challenging him for 2nd to points. He could find himself dropping back here today if Emig keeps up the way he has so far.
Albertine, number 7, since his 15th place ride in the opening moto of the season, has never placed lower than 7th in any moto, but hasn't reached the spectacular level as we take a look at the leaderboard. Albertine coming out of the sandy whoops and going into that 2nd section. Let's check him out.
Aggressive through there. This is a rough section. He's going all the way out wide, try to carry his momentum out. Get a good run at this corner right here, but to me it just looks like he's sitting down at the wrong time, standing up. It's just not flowing right now, which is why he's not able to get up there and challenge Emig right now. It seems everything is going his way. The lines are coming together, flowing with the racetrack. Timing is good, and he got a good start. Start means a lot. Sometimes you don't get the start, and you get to start back there riding with some guys, and you start to ride kind of like them. For Ryan Hughes, for instance, he got a good start. He was able to get up there and have a look at Emig and Doug Henry and see what lines they were taking, the pace they had, and was able to match that.
Really terrific for most of the fans, I think, that Jeff Emig has turned his season around. That happened at Troy, earning him the honor of Kawasaki's winningest 250 national rider of all time. And one of those great wins came right at this track last year as we take a look at our Suzuki flashback. Millville, Minnesota. And in the first moto, it was Ryan Hughes, his teammate, to get the whole shot.
Didn't last long, though. Watch Ryan Hughes right here. Does a, I don't know what you want to call that, maybe a sow cow, some kind of a gymnastic maneuver, but it luckily flipped off the racetrack, wasn't hit by anyone.
Dangerous spot at that time. Jeff Emig taking over the lead and going the distance. Emig really wasn't challenged the rest of the way in this first moto last year. Jeff Emig, after winning his first 250 title the year before, got good momentum from this race to recapture the crown. The second moto wasn't quite as easy for Jeff Emig as he takes a look at the checkered flag, because he had John Dowd to contend with. Dowdy, number 14 here, riding a 250 last year.
It all started off perfect for Emig. Got the lead through the whoop section. John Dowd taking over 2nd from privateer Jason McCormick through the whoops. That's when the battle began between these two. On the mechanics area, their mechanics were placing bets who was going to buy drinks later.
Brian Berry and, of course, Jeremy Albrecht. Emig's mechanic there facing us. This win for Emig was in a string of 4 consecutive sweeps, giving him a 99-point lead so he could wrap up the title at Binghamton.
Wasn't easy. John Dowd staying close enough all the way to the final lap. He did the same thing to him in Unadilla, keeping the crowd into it, keeping Emig honest.
Emig just couldn't afford to make a mistake, because here at the checkered flag, it was Emig by little more than a wheel. Here today at Millville, it's Jeff Emig way out in front. Ryan Hughes in second, and number 19, Doug Henry in third.
He was surprising a few people, moving around Henry, taking over second, so far making it to Kawasaki's sweep. Still losing a little bit of time to his teammate Emig, but Emig will be happy to look back there and see that his teammate has pushed Doug Henry back a few points.
I think it's obvious that Ryan Hughes did not appreciate broadcasting one of our motocrosses with me in your absence, because he's back there. He wanted to ride again.
Yeah, he doesn't just want to talk about it. He wants to be out there. He's still young. He knows he's got a lot of years left. He doesn't have any titles, but certainly come close a few times.
Boy, look at this freight train. A real freight train behind Henry. It's Larocco number 5. Then you've got Lusk number 3. And then Albertine number 7. So it could be a bang-bang finish behind the leader. The checker's not that far away in Moto number 1. Back at Millville with Jeff Emig way out in front. What a battle we've got going on behind Henry. Larocco number 5, Lusk number 3, Albertine number 7.
We've got all hard-charging, fast finishers. Come from behind, aggressive riders. Look how close they're getting. Albertine's not one to ever pass anybody very clean. He'll get in there and rub elbows with anybody. He doesn't care.
Hughes in second. Henry's pulling up on Hughes.
This is really turning out to be a great race. And that's what I was talking about earlier. It just looked like it was kind of boring. Those guys biding their time, figuring out each other's lines. But at the end of the race, especially on a sand track like this, always going to get exciting.
Well, Emig way out in front, but the battle is still on for second place.
Albertine's got a lot to gain right here.
Final lap underway.
He's got all those guys right in front of him.
Ezra Lusk doing an amazing job, David, after coming off that second surgery, to be up there in the top 5, top 6. Hughes bouncing over those whoops.
Boy, this last lap, nobody can make a mistake here. They're going to lose a position or more. And this is when you're the most tired. You get the most sweat in your eyes. Your concentration, it's hard to maintain it, make the right decisions. This is when it really gets good. And even for Albertine, who's at the tail end of this pack, let's just say you can't get around these guys. You still got to go back to the pits and be pretty happy with the way he rode. At least he's not just not on pace. He's right there with everybody. Could go the other way in the second moto.
Emig trouble-free on this final lap as we take a shot of him now. Number 1, the 2-time defending 250 outdoor national motocross champion. Off to that horrendous start, but is back on track. He's looking for his 7th moto win of the season. And that has all come since the 5th of July.
This is one of those motos for Emig where he got a good start, put in a few good laps, and just ridden steady ever since, and it looks like it's really been pretty much effortless for him. He's going to come in, be all relaxed in his chair, where the guys behind him are riding their butts off. They're going to come in tired, flustered, and for a 3rd or a 4th. It's funny how motocross works out. There's sometimes you go out there and you don't even try, you get the win. Other times you ride so much harder, battling with everybody for maybe a top 3 if you're lucky.
When you're out in front like this and Emig taking time to salute his fans, you can save some energy for that second moto. The checkers and a nonchalant Jeff Emig has won his 7th moto of the season. And another consistent performance for the points leader Doug Henry. Emig, Hughes, Henry the top 3, with Larocco and Lusk rounding out the top 5. And as we take a look at 6 through 10, Let's go down and hear from the winner.